Good morning. Happy Thursday. Welcome back to the Bookstack Coffee Chat. I'm Daleen Bickle, and I am so glad to be here with you. Welcome to those of you who are going to be logging on here live with me, as well as those of you watching the replay. As always, I love to hear from you. I love to hear what you're currently reading. Be sure to drop in the chat what you are currently reading and what's on your to-be-read list too. You can always check out my to-be-read list, my TBR, over on Goodreads. You can check me out there. And here on my Facebook author page, I host this live book chat on Thursdays at 10 a.m., God willing, every week. And it's also available for viewing on YouTube. So whichever social media platform you frequent, I'm on there typically, except for Twitter. Don't go there very much anymore, but I am on Instagram as well. And so I put some snippets of this over there on Instagram and also share a lot of encouragement over there as well. So today is a gorgeous day here in North Carolina where I am at. I hope that you are enjoying good weather where you are as well, and that at some point today and the coming week you can curl up with a good book or two. So last week, if you caught that episode, I showed the big stack of books that I obtained from my local library, and I have not read all of them, obviously, yet, but I did read and finish one of them, The Forest of Vanishing Stars, and I have to admit I was a little torn about how I thought about that. You can read my full review of that over on Goodreads and as well as on my blog, DaleenBickle.com. You can check out that blog post. Actually, that one's going to be going live on my blog today. I have a few other book reviews on my blog, but yeah, the Forest of Vanishing Stars. I mean, Kristen Harmel is an incredibly gifted writer. There's no doubt about that. She, draws you in, keeps you interested in the story, despite the oddity of the first 4 chapters. And I'll let you read my review to get the full details. But I could have done without the first 4 chapters and just started with chapter 5 and gone through. That would have been much better. But that's my opinion. And I know a lot of people love it. But as far as the Christian and clean reads, it was not so Christian, but it was a basic clean read. So like I said, if I pique your interest and you want to learn more about my exact thoughts, go ahead and read that review. But so I was planning on finishing another book out of that big stack this week, and then the library contacted me and said that the ones that I had on hold, 3 more books, were now available. So I'm like, oh, I've got to go check those because 2 of them especially I have been really eager to read. The first one is Surviving Savannah by Patty Callahan. You might also know her as Patty Callahan Henry. She goes by both pen names. And I read and reviewed her book, Becoming Mrs. Lewis. I enjoyed that book a lot, and I'm hoping that I'm going to enjoy Surviving Savannah just as much, just because it's such a historical-based book. You know me and my historical fiction. The other book that came in this week was The Orphan Train by, let me get it where you can see it, by Christina Baker Klein. And I know this is an older book, and I know most of you have probably already read it, but I have not. So again, based off of the actual orphan trains that occurred here in the U.S. And then I'm very, very, very excited because I have read so many of her books and have loved them, and they are Christian historical fiction. And I think I am going to reserve this one for next month's Bookstack Book Club selection. So if you would love to be on a member and join the book club, let me know in the comments and I will get you more information about that. But we are going to be reading When Twilight Breaks by Sarah Sundin. She is such a gifted author, and I love, love, love her historical fiction books. She bases almost all of them on World War II, which I'm a fan of, and she has several series. So if you are like me and enjoy a series of books, she has several to choose from. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to reading all of these and letting you know what I thought. And if you have read them, please put in the comments what your thoughts are. I would love to hear your feedback. And it can be a spoiler too. It doesn't bother me. So just let me know what you think. And yeah, I'm going to be tossing quarters a lot to see which book to read next, right? But then whenever I'm looking at these books, another thought is, personally, this is what gets onto today's topic about reviews versus the back cover blurbs. I've noticed a growing trend. I don't know if any of you have noticed this as well, that most books today, the publishers are simply putting a series of reviews, testimonials, quotes from whether they're other authors or they might be book reviewers with major magazines like USA Today or the New York Times, or they might be professionals, depending on if it's a nonfiction book. And so the whole back copy is just reviews. And of course, they're not going to put a negative review on there, right? So I just kind of take the reviews as a grain of salt. I don't even really read all the reviews. I do see who their names are and what their titles are just out of curiosity. But that isn't what draws me to a book or makes me not pick up the book. It's always the blurb itself. What is the book about? And so then you have to, if it's a hardcover book, you have to open it up and read the inside dust jacket copy, the flaps, to read what it's about. And maybe it's just a personal quirk of mine, but I like it whenever they have the reviews on the back. And bonus points to Sarah Sundin again, because she actually incorporates both, which is good too. She has the blurb at the top and then a couple of select reviews beneath, as well as her short author bio. So that is what I really am attracted to. Of course, the cover design. I can't deny that I am attracted or detracted from a book based on the cover and its art or illustration. And then it's, for me, the blurb. What is it about? And then if that kind of intrigues me, especially if I'm able to be in a bookstore or a library, I like to skim through it and just pick out a paragraph or two and see the writing style. So I don't know if I'm alone in that. Let me know what your preference is. Do you like the reviews? Do you take them with a grain of salt like me, or do you really hone in on those and focus on who wrote them and take that as your selling point, whether you should read it or not? Another thing I have come to notice, and I've mentioned this a couple of times in previous episodes, is that if they're #1 New York Times bestseller or some kind of top award-winning book loved by the masses, typically means that there's not going to be absolute my favorite. Not always, but typically. I've been so disappointed in many, many books just because of the content. And, there's that growing trend to become, push the envelope in the storylines or the characters, and just so much straying away from, conservative values, from moral values, from biblical principles and values, and just push that envelope, get the reader's attention somehow, shock and awe, right? And I find that to be a disappointing avenue that publishers are taking. And that includes the language too. That's really a big pet peeve of mine. If there is a lot of vulgarity or what some people call salty language, yes, I am aware that a lot of people in the world, that's how they talk. I am fully aware of that, which is why when I read a book, I don't want to see it. I want to go to a book to escape and enjoy a read and not just be pummeled with today's negativity and brashness. So, again, sorry, I didn't mean to get on my soapbox and rant, but just wanted to share my thoughts with you. And as always, I welcome your thoughts. I will let you know next week what I read. I hope to have another book review or two written and available on my blog and on Goodreads. And until then, I hope you can catch this replay. Let me know what you're reading, what your thoughts are on reviews versus blurbs, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Take care and have a blessed day.